Welcome to another Type with Me. This week I'm gonna talk about using decorators within Deno. Right. So for that we're gonna just play a little bit with it and we're gonna see how we can enable them within Deno. So here in this video I want to show you two things. First thing is, what is this all about? Why do we have these kind of generics here? I just want to show you why that is there and how you can interpret these, right? So that's very, very important. Another thing that I want to show you is how you can execute this within Deno, right? So, of course, I need to do here the following thing: Deno run mod.ts, and you will see that we get the following output. We get an error, right? And that's normal because decorators are an experimental feature within JavaScript, but also within Typescript, and more in Typescript, right? Because in JavaScript it's still in stage 2, I think, for the moment. So it still needs to go through stage 3 and stage 4 before it will really be a feature within JavaScript itself. So that's for that reason it's still an experimental support within Typescript itself. Of course, a lot of frameworks like Angular are using decorators, and for that it's still a very useful feature in my opinion, but yeah, you need to be aware of the fact that it's experimental. So I'm going to add here config.json, right? And then here we're going to add the following thing. We say that it's experimental, you have compiler options, experimental decorator, right? And now when we execute this with the following thing, -c ts config.json, and then we execute it, you will see that it works. And of course we have just here the console log of our constructor, and it's a function awesome class. And why is that a function? And that's very important to know. Of course, here we say that it's the constructor, so here we have class extends the constructor itself. And why is that? Because it's the same as the following thing within JavaScript, right? In JavaScript you have everything related to prototypes. So console awesome class dot prototype, and of course from prototype we can do something like constructor. And if we do something like this, console dot log, and I put here constructor, we can say equal to this. Right. One of the things that I also want to do here is to do constructor, and I want to call, just for fun, this dot fancy. You will see why. So here we go, and when I execute this one, you will see that we have here constructor, so you will print out function awesome class. Then you will see that you will also print out function awesome class, and you will print out true, because of course our constructor is just the same like awesome class or prototype.constructor, right? So I hope you understand this a little bit more. It's just a little bit more of how JavaScript is working under the hood. And for that I can just really understand that some people have difficulties by understanding this, right? Because of course here also it says T needs to extend of new arcs any, because with this structure we can very easily say that he needs to have awesome class of prototype.constructor, right? And for that it can also be very nice to know, because we need to do the following thing if you only want to have a decorator of awesome class. And for that it's very important to understand, because now you know that new and then your constructor gives you an object of the following type of some class. If you only want to write decorators for a specific class, you need to do it like this, right? And then of course when you do it like that, you will see that you will get this, right? If you don't do that, if you don't do that, you will see that you get here a problem, because of course fancy is not from that kind of type, right? But now we have that, and of course we can do it like this. Yeah, I printed out here this .fancy, but we already have .fancy, so I'm gonna put that away. Right now, when I just execute that, you will see that we will have .fancy, and I'm very curious because if we're gonna print, it's gonna print green, because of course we didn't extend already the constructor. It's just still the constructor from this one, right? But if we now here do something like this, console.log, .fancy, you will see that our decorator just has fancy, first of all fancy green, because still our console log at the top works, but then we have fancy red, which is here this part, right? So I hope you understand a little bit more how this works, what the generics are of this, and how you can start using that, right? And of course, again here, and that's very important to know, if you have this one and you have just this here, and then of course here you cannot use that. Here you're also a little bit blind, because you don't know if it has a color or not. For example, if you want to have something like this, I don't know, you want to define another methods log, for example, and then of course you want to do this dot fancy. Also that is very difficult, because yeah, you don't know if it's there. And then of course if I put it here, awesome class, right? Now he knows that it has awesome class, because awesome class is just the constructor of awesome class there, and then we can do things with the method itself. So that's how you could really create class decorators that are specific for certain classes in your application itself when you are targeting them. And that's also something I need to check, but I think also there your compiler will be with you if you do something like class blah, for example, and then you would like to put something on here and add log you will see here that he will complain because, of course, blah is not block, right? Another thing that you could do then, for example, but then you will see that Fancy will still complain, is that you say, okay, it can be of that or that other class, right? With a pipe. So these are things that you could do, or you could, for example, also say here very easily extends awesome class, and here we go. This is solved now. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It explains a little bit more the fanciness of all these generics around class decorators, but it's very important to know how to work with that. This video was created because another person on my channel asked that question on what is these generics, why are these so important, how do I need to work with these generics, and in this video I really tried to explain how these generics are working and how you could take these generics to your own advantages, right? So thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to this channel if this was very useful for you, and see you next time. Bye!